Over the span of a few console generations, we saw the rise and fall of the licensed movie tie-in game. From the early to late 2000s, basically every big budget movie had an awful and quickly put together tie-in game to milk the audience for a bit of extra money. And somehow, it worked. But as we moved into the 2010s, the tie-in space changed from making money printing games in a single year to spending a few years making something pretty good, like Mad Max, or even as of late, making games in the same universe as a film, but not tied to a movie release. Today though, instead of looking at modern movie tie-in gems, we will be suffering through some of PS3's most random and honestly pretty awful tie-ins to see whether they were chucked together and pumped out for profit, or if these games tie into the movies better than expected, making them a good use of time. This is Exploring Movie Tie-ins. In the world of animated films, you can't go very far without hearing about our favourite green ogre.
I'm Donkey. I'm Donkey.
Shrek as a whole had a pretty good run, spanning 4 films and a few spin-offs. It was arguably one of the best movie franchises of that time, and to be honest, still is. Over the 4 films, we've seen a whole bunch of video game adaptations come to home consoles, like Shrek Extra Large and Shrek Fairy Tale Freakdown. Who is naming these? Only one game ever made it to the PS3, that game being Shrek Forever After. Based on the movie of the same name, it released 3 weeks prior to the movie. Whether this spoils any essential plot lines or not, I guess we'll have to find out. But given that it was published by Activision, I doubt they really cared. Looking at the reviews here, it seems like a bit of a mixed bag. XGN said the game is too short and won't leave much of an impact, causing you to forget about it almost instantly. But then a review like this one from Game Chronicles states Shrek Forever After is easily the best Shrek game I've ever played on this or any previous generation system. They also gave it a 92 as well, which, you know, not to be that guy, but is only 2 points off reaching The Walking Dead Season 1. And like, how are we even putting these 2 games in the same conversation? I decided that I would see for myself just how bad or good this Shrek tie-in truly is. Will it send me to tears like the 9-year-old me experienced at that one scene on The Walking Dead, or will it truly be just another pointless cash grab?
Once upon a time, a long time ago, a king and a queen had a beautiful daughter named Fiona. But she was possessed by a terrible curse. By day, a lovely princess. By night, a hideous ogre.
We drop into the game just after Shrek is signed away the day he was born. Bit of a silly move, but he doesn't read the terms and conditions, which, let's be real, who does?
This is the part where you're supposed to run away.
What is that voice I did?
Feels good to be the real me again.
Bit of a weird one, but you can switch to Puss and Fiona right from the tutorial. Given that this entire thing is about finding Fiona and sharing a little smooch, I don't really get why she's in the game already. Oh, you just switched to all of them. Donkey! It only takes a couple minutes messing about before we pop the first trophy of the game for screaming in this random guy's face to subscribe. Green and mean. What was that even for? Oh yeah, and they gave Shrek jiggle physics as well. Like, what? He's got like jiggle physics on his stomach. I wouldn't say that's like top priority of making the game look good, but you know.
Stop hitting me! Time to say goodnight.
These bangers that play while I'm knocking out random people really makes me feel like I'm in the middle of the movie. You know in Shrek 1 when he's like,
Can't we just settle this over a pint? No? Come on!
Point being, this feels right at home in a Shrek game, and there really was some tunes later on. And that to feel good. Ogres rock.
Oh, sure is great to be wanted again.
I'm Shrek, and I wanted my old ogre life back so bad that I actually traded it for the day I was born.
This?
So stupid.
It isn't long before we arrive at the ogre camp. This is meant to be a safe space for all the ogres in the universe, given that Rumpelstiltskin wants them dead. In case you haven't seen the movie, I'm about to spoil the intro, so maybe skip ahead. Basically, Fiona's parents hate her ogre side, and this guy promises to free her from that, providing they sign away the entire kingdom of Far, Far Away. An insanely one-sided deal in my opinion, and they were literally 2 milliseconds away from doing so before Shrek saves Fiona from the tower and the deal gets called off.
You think that Shrek is your true love?
Well, yes.
This is then why Rumpelstiltskin tricks Shrek into signing away the day he was born, so that technically he was never born in the universe that he saved Fiona in. But that's pretty much why he wants all the ogres dead in this universe, because if he captures Shrek, he can never find True Love's kiss to break the contract. Back to the game now, you'd assume that given this camp is meant to be the top secret hiding spot for all these bright green ogres, it would be hidden a bit better.
You want to join the fight? Fiona says we can use all the help we can get.
Fiona? How do you know Fiona?
What do you mean? Why can we play as her? Imagine we meet her, like, in person.
There ain't nothing magical about what came out the other end. You know what I'm talking about?
That's not Eddie Murphy, is it, bro? They just hired some random guy.
No, donkey. I mean, I signed a contract with Rumpelstiltskin.
You what? You never sign a contract with Rumpelstiltskin.
Oh, I must have left it in the swamp.
You what?
All right, time to move out. You two coming?
Coming? The swamp? That's great. Sure, we love Swamp Patrol, don't we, donkey?
Oh, sure.
To meet Fiona 23 minutes into the game, would it have really been that hard to lock her behind this cutscene and then just let you play as her after? I mean, these sections are kind of cool. One heart left, though. Chad, I'm literally about to die.
I say, you are in a fix. Get one of these barrels.
One of these barrels? What? This game has some weird pull to keep me involved, and I think that's down to Shrek as a whole. I loved Shrek growing up, and watching these films to remember the lore for this video just brought me back to being a kid again. After solving a few puzzles and grabbing some collectibles, we arrive at the swamp. It's our swamp!
I don't understand it. Where's my house?
Okay, bro left it inside of a fucking sealed house. What is going on?
Wait a minute. Donkey, I don't see anything here about an exit clause.
Ha! I told you they were sneaky. Here, let me see that.
True love's kiss. Well, Fiona's my true love. That must mean all I have to do is get her to kiss me, and I get my life back.
As much as I'm sat here glazing this game, it's unfortunately time to stop doing that as often because this marks the point of no return. The game takes a direction that completely voids the movie, and I just can't ignore the glaring plot holes for seemingly no reason. Magic Mirror does what he always does and just waffles some random words of wisdom. Shrek wants to see his family, and the Magic Mirror says yes.
That's what you get when you sign a contract with Rumpelstiltskin.
Can you help me?
Of course I can, Shrek.
Oh, there you are.
What? Like we're back in the other universe. They just made the game redundant. If we can return to the other universe at any point, why do we even need to find True Love's kiss to break the contract? You can argue that this is for gameplay reasons, and to be fair, swapping between two universes is a pretty cool feature. But at the expense of ruining the entire reason to play the game in the first place, that just makes no sense. Maybe I'm just waffling, but I feel like this was a pretty big oversight from the devs, or should I say, oversight. Speaking of sites, let's take ours from land to sea with today's sponsor, War Thunder. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made, with over 2,500 tanks, planes, ships and helicopters shown off in incredible detail, realistic graphics and sound effects that place you right in the middle of the battlefield. With over 95 million players across PC, console and now mobile, you're sure to get into some epic PvP fights while taking in the immersive gameplay and breathtaking views that is War Thunder. And I know what you're thinking, a mobile version of a PC game? Surely not. But it really is just War Thunder in your pocket, and it's something I definitely recommend checking out. Available on both iOS and Android, this version features touchscreen controls, impressive graphics, and the massive multiplayer experience that everyone has grown to love. To take this a step further, the base game also runs on the in-house engine, which allows for impressive visuals and high frame rates even on lower-end PCs. All this to say that War Thunder is now so accessible, you may as well give it a try and see what you're missing out on, given that it's free on every single platform. Whether you're a new player or you haven't played in over 6 months on PC and console, you can click my links in the description or pinned comment to get a massive bonus pack that includes 100,000 silver lions, multiple premium vehicles, 7 days of premium, and a whole lot more. This is only available for a limited time, so be quick. Thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring the video, and let's get back to Absolute Peak. Moving on, we can solve this puzzle to collect our first health upgrade. Just getting started. That was an alright puzzle, kind of kept my brain awake. My opinion's changing these a little bit now. It's the same music in the background. It's the same like triple tap X combo, like you can't do any other attack. Swamp Sweep.
This basket is for Fiona. All her favorites. Heart-shaped box of slugs, skunk-scented candle, and coupons. for one free kiss from me.
Coupons! What is this guy on, bro?
It's bad. Very bad. And very...
I'm so alone.
You guys gotta help me! If that scary dragon finds out I lost her dronkies, I'm toast!
Tronkies. Is that the official name for them? I didn't know they had a name. Fucking Dronkies, bro.
You lost the drunkies?
Not the
What the
Dronkies.
heck is a dronky?
No,
Anyway,
literally, bro.
That sound like some kind of silly made-up word.
Wait, isn't it his kids? What? Starting Dragon's Keep, this setting has purpose, being that they do explore the castle in the movie, albeit for a different reason. It seems that's his one and only redeeming quality though, as spread throughout are these stupid little puzzles they force you to do to progress. Basically, Fiona can mix potions and adding different items can change the color, which then opens the next area if you've managed to match the colors up. It's not awful at the start. Why am I all loved up with a fucking lizard? What's going on? Bro, I got like the Minecraft house on him. But to chuck the same thing into 90% of the rooms you explore, it's just really doing too much. Once pushing through the first section of this castle, we are hit with some bangers. Oh, they got a banger on. Oh, baby, I'm sure. Just for this to end and start the next section doing the same stuff. Like that's ever gonna happen. Same puzzles, same environment, and same fight right at the end with the same music to go along with it. I'm walking on sunshine. This felt like another way to stretch out the game, almost as if I was playing a mandatory side quest just to grab the tiara at the end. The tiara in question has been stolen by the fairy godmother.
All right, Granny. Hand over the tiara and we'll be on our way.
That's no way to treat your new queen, is it?
Queen?
For the first boss fight of the entire game, this wasn't too bad. It wasn't great, but I mean, compared to running about doing the same puzzles for a good 30 minutes, it was a nice change. You don't get to directly attack the fairy godmother here though. I don't really know why either, as it makes the fight feel like we're doing a miscellaneous task to indirectly take down the boss, but it works, I guess. This is peak gameplay, holy shit.
Grow.
Oh, we did it. Get out of there.
This doesn't mean anything, you know. I'm still the queen. Do you hear me? The queen!
There. That ought to do
Where
it.
did he whip that from? Where did she go?
This? Look, you seem okay, but, and I'm only gonna say this once, I don't have time
Why
for
are they
any
doing
of
it
this.
here,
We
bro?
gotta
What's
get
going
back
on?
to the ogre camp right now.
Where is his storytelling gone? Like, nothing makes any sense. Like, she just appeared out of nowhere. Was in none of the cutscenes before this.
I can't believe this. Rumple must have captured the ogre army while we were gone. This is all my fault. I should have been here.
Fiona.
With all the ogres being kidnapped, it turns out one absolute goat remained, Cookie the shopkeeper. This guy is needed for the trophy shopping spree and is actually voiced by Craig Robinson, you know, the same guy that played Daryl from The Office.
Thank you, sir. Go get him. Oh!
Back to the game, Fiona wants to save all the ogres, and we set out for Rumpelstiltskin's castle. Along the way, we run into Pinocchio, and he lets us know that if we can return all the bells to this location, he will let us borrow his boat. It's a pretty weird request, really, and has no correlation with getting a boat in the first place, but Shrek and Fiona don't think twice and just accept the deal. This results in an almost carbon copy of the Dragon's Keep stuff, where we're exploring 3 different areas doing the same shit for one simple purpose. At least the setting of Dragon's Keep made sense though, as this area barely ties into the movie at all and just feels a bit out of place. We earn a few trophies here on our fetch quest, like filling the ogre bar to 100%. Oh yeah, we're getting it. Got it now, that's a trophy. What is this dreadful song as well? Taking out these skeletons, back to the grave, and eventually returning the last bell of this section.
Take that!
That's like the fucking BBC bell. Tonight at 10. Look at I'm getting mad, fucking tired. You're basically just doing the same thing over and over and over again. I don't know, I just can't stay awake. I was about to get off, basically, but I managed to convince myself to at least finish this bell mission since we did indeed start it.
This is heavier than it looks.
Let me get a trophy for doing that. There you go, ring them bells. You'd think that after back-to-back side quest type levels, we would actually do something different in the next one. And, well, you'd be right. Wait, no, you'd be wrong. You'd be very, very wrong, as we are captured and chucked into a dungeon.
Oh, my waffles lie over the ocean. My waffles lie over the sea.
How do we get trapped down here? Your guess is as good as mine as to what Activision were cooking up at this point, because we may as well just be playing any old Shrek game. What started off as a pretty strong tie-in, in all fairness, has kind of stopped trying. Look, the game's not terrible, but it's almost like they assumed that no one was going to make it past the first hour of the game, and it only gets less and less tied into the movie as we carry on. The best thing about this area is that they introduce a new song into the fight mix, and it is a certified banger. Why do you just like float backwards? Where's he going? True in fairy tales. Oh, this is a Shrek banger. Love was out to get me. Do 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 do. That's the way it seems. This guy right here, Mr. Pied Piper, is one of the main villains in the movie, and honestly feels unbeatable. His flute can force anyone to dance, and he gets hired by Rumpelstiltskin to capture the ogres by playing this tune right here. In the game though, they've taken the only feature that made him feel unbeatable in the first place and essentially turned him into a mob spawner. It's clear that he has no power to force ogres to do anything, and I mean, at that point, they've really just chucked him in so that it feels like we're still on path with the movie.
Whew. Thanks. I owe you one.
No worries, bro. Where's he even running to?
Hey, you did it. I'm free.
Not yet, you're not. Hey,
What do you mean not yet? You're not. We do pop a trophy for defeating an enemy as each character in a fight. There you go, Team Shrek. Let's go! Before running into Pied Piper once again. Oh, now we're actually fighting him. What was gearing up to be one of the best fights yet resulted in me standing still for half of it. What is the fight here? Taking out the same few enemies that spawn in again and again, while also trying to hit these switches to deal some damage to the boss. I'll give the game some credit for actually using his flute to get the mice moving, but again, this entire thing feels so downplayed, since he could technically play his flute right now and stop us from doing anything.
Oh yeah, that's how it's done. Ogre
What a
style.
fight, man. Oh, and that's just the end as well. There's not even like a cutscene or anything.
Hey, you know, you were pretty good back there.
Really?
Really.
This is not what happens in the film. Well, they do kiss, but it's like not okay. They're going for it. They do kiss, but it's not like now.
Shrek, nothing's happening.
See? It says right here that Fiona has to actually be in love with Shrek for it to work, not just in like with him. Okay.
Whoa.
You again? We're on to your little game.
No, Shrek! You gotta believe me! It was Rumpelstiltskin! He made me do it!
Oh well, it beats walking. All right, you, get pedaling.
What is this? What kind of fucking storytelling is going on? This mission is the furthest thing they could have done from anything to do with the movie. Like the village, sure. Catacombs, you're kind of pushing it, but a big open section on a makeshift boat with Pinocchio as the driver while being targeted by a random pirate crew and dealing with crabs. Like, what are we even doing here? Now, I will say, I actually kind of like this section. You can sail about, dock up on any island, and grab a few collectibles along the way. It's definitely the most ambitious and out there mission we've played so far. But again, how are we relating this back to the movie? The steering controls here are also terrible, and I'm puzzled as to how they even made it past the testing phase, if there even was one to begin with. You steer by moving your character in the direction you want to go, which is already weird enough, but then you get raided by crabs and the game still detects your movement as steering while trying to fight for your life. Sometimes I kind of think to myself that I could be playing fucking anything, bro. Like Death Stranding 2 just come out and I'm just playing Shrek forever after. The big pirate ship in the middle is blocking our path, and we need to visit different islands to free the anchors from the ground. It is essentially the same stuff as the other missions, but since it was pretty open and free-flowing, it wasn't as bad as the others. And so it wasn't that hard for me to wrap up the stun trophies once and for all. Oh, this is a proper Shrek banger. Not a trace. Out of my mind. Oh, there's loads here. Oh my god. Oh, that was it. I had to be. Oh, okay. There's enough. That was it.
You're making me angry.
You're pissing me off. That was 5. Nice. Feel my roar. Okay, can we be done now? There's no way. It was like a 3-hit boss or something.
That wasn't so hard, was it?
It wasn't hard. It was just fucking boring me, and that just ends like that. Okay. It's just such a filler mission. What was even the point in being there? I feel by this point, you get the idea that the game has stopped trying, but it turns out they wanted to try even harder, to give up. When returning back to the camp, they don't even let us know what the next mission is, and instead just give us a little camera pan to the boat. Doesn't even tell us like where we're going now. It's just like, yeah, over there, mate. After speaking to the absolute goat, Cookie the shopkeeper, and upgrading some skills, we visit this boat from the camera pan, just to get teleported into the castle. Okay, just skip the entire sailing scene, I guess.
If you want to break down those tougher golden locks, you're gonna need some help.
Look at that picture of Donkey, bro.
You know, Shrek, when this is all over, I could really get to like you.
Yeah, if only you'd really love me.
Come on!
I still don't really understand how we can freely walk into the castle owned by the guy who hates us, but after matching these colors up to make green, we can progress into the main area. The main area that literally looks like a deserted castle and is only guarded by maybe 10 witches max. We are told that in order to make it past the witches, we need to get them to dance. And I guess the only way to do this is by matching up different colors, and then the witch that likes that color goes down and starts dancing. Like, oh, my favorite color is purple, so as soon as I see purple, I'm gonna run away and hit the boogie down. Like what? After doing this a few times in different areas, the witches are no longer a problem, and we get to meet Rumpelstiltskin for the first time in person.
Come on, let's boogie! Oh yeah! Oh, come on, take it, witches!
Not so fast, Stiltskin. I want my contract back.
Shrek. Oh, is that you?
What is it with this game and there's nothing adding up? Like, how are we just in his little room and now we're back here? They must have made the cutscenes first and then just built the game around it and like ran out of time because it's probably a boss fight now.
You'll never get your contract
Yeah.
back! Never! Do you hear me? Never, never, never!
But we don't actually face him. He just stands there watching, probably curling his toes like he does in the movie. The witches come in waves, and although we can slowly progress through the castle, we're just repeating this witch fight over and over and over again. I wonder if we actually get to fight him, or if it's going to be like that Piper guy. The game just ends, do you know what I mean? The same story is true when we end up reaching the throne room as well. While Rumpelstiltskin floats about the room in his boat, we are stuck fighting a stupid amount of enemies with the same player models and repeating the same dialogue for like 20 minutes straight. This can't be the boss fight. There's no way. The last like 10 minutes has just been this. And maybe I'm just waffling yet, but it just feels like the game has just gone downhill. Like, right, I would say like the start was pretty close to the story. Now it is really starting to show its true colors. Maybe rush. I don't really know what's going on, but like this is just such a half-assed boss fight. Just spamming X is all I can do. Are we done now? I just can't think of any reason as to why you'd build the game up to this very moment and then have it play out in this way. It's this, and then that's the final fight of the game. 10 out of 10 tie-in experience.
I can see that you're angry.
Oh, you have.
It's not Shrek, bro.
Hey, you hear that? You may have the contract, Shrek, but I still win. Your time is up.
Oh, no, it isn't.
There's no way. I'm dead. I'm fucking dead. There's no way they've done Shrek like that.
I'm back. I'm back.
That doesn't even look like Donkey at all. What an ending, man. That was a bad fight, though. That cutscene was kind of funny, but that was such a dreadful boss fight. With that over, it was time for the cleanup. There's 13 trophies left, and it's essentially just a repeat of the entire game. And I'm not a big fan of how they went about this, because replaying missions actually means replaying missions. The enemies respawn, the puzzles need completing once again, and it's just another way of forcing the player to waste more time. Another trophy type here is related to the co-op feature in the game. As you progress through the levels, you might stumble across a weird contraption like this. The game does a very bad job letting the player know that these are even for co-op in the first place, but if you do manage to figure it out, you basically pop a trophy on every single one. The game auto saves if it's 100%, so Ogre Outposts. Okay, so we haven't got it. Oh, Swamp Complete. I did though recently, yesterday or the day before, put out like a community post about how long it's taken. You know, I was in a bit of a burnout slump. Yeah, the support for me like taking a break and not burning myself out was insane, man. Like I can't thank you guys enough for that. I know I still need to get stuff done, obviously. Like I do still have a time limit, but just that you guys are so understanding, it's just like way less stress on me personally to stay up late, grind myself like endlessly to get stuff done. That's a trophy. Ogre Mayhem. Getting pretty close to 100% in this one as well. Oh, 100%, let's go. I won't bore you guys with the entire cleanup run, as it was essentially me just sat here for a few hours following a guide and watching YouTube, but it wasn't long before the final 100% was upon us. And I can dance for you, honey, if you think it's funny. This could potentially be the last one. Rumpel's Palace complete, which means the only level left to 100% is the ogre camp. So we're basically done, which is lovely to know. Yeah, this might actually be the end of the game, unless buying from the shop counts as the 100%.
Sold!
There we go. And it's saving too. This could be the plat. This actually could be the plat.
Fixing up a whole new
Shopping spree. That's for everything in the shop. No. Oh, it is. Okay. Ogre camp complete. True Love's Kiss. Let's go! So yeah, as it stands for the first game on the list, it could have been better, but given how bad movie tie-ins can be, this was arguably one of the better ones I've played. To rate this on the movie tie-in scale, with left being that it doesn't tie in at all, and right being the perfect movie tie-in, I'm pretty happy to chuck this one right here. There's a lot that needs to be done for this to ever be perfect, but it's one of those games I would have definitely played as a kid back in the day. In 1963, Where the Wild Things Are was released by Maurice Sendak. Originally, the book was censored in US schools as its themes were deemed to be too dark and emotional for young readers. But over time, people realized that children need these stories to express their emotions instead of hiding them. And in the 60 years since, it sold 20 million copies, making it one of the highest selling children's books ever. So when the live action adaptation came out in 2009, you'd assume the target audience would be children, you know, given the fact that it's a children's book. But the film chose to explore the darker tones of the story with some oddly disturbing scenes that made it more suitable for adults rather than its core audience.
So much.
Don't say that!
No, stop it! Stop it! What are you doing?
After its theatrical run, it ended up making a grand total of $140,096 on a $100 million budget. Whether this is due to the marketing, the weird arm ripping scene, or just because of how these guys look, I guess we'll never know. But if there's anything to take away from this situation, it's that when in doubt, definitely chuck a lovely little tying game to soften the blow. While I personally didn't play this one as a kid, it seems I didn't really miss out on much, with level 7 stating this is just a typical movie license game aimed at kids with parents who don't know better, and the official Xbox magazine calling it Where the Wild Things Are. So will this game turn out to be the perfect tie-in within the era of pointless cash grabs, or is it truly as mid as everyone seems to believe? Where the Wild Things Are. I kind of know what to expect because I just watched the movie, but from watching this little thing here, this little preview, this doesn't happen in the movie. So I don't really know what the plan was here. We start the game by pulling up to an island on a boat, and already this is heavily expecting the player to have seen the movie beforehand like Shrek did. The movie really delves into household issues and emotions from Max's POV, and is mainly why he decides to run off in the middle of the night, hop on a boat and sail to this island. All of that is kind of ignored here though, as we grab our first collectible and hit these bushes to meet the bull. I mean, it doesn't really look like the guy from the movie, to be fair. Let's just blame that on PS3 limitations. I will say though, if this is the entire game, we are just doing this. Yeah. Reward unlocked in village. Okay. Just spoiling the game for me. Like, what village, mate? There's a reward for you coming up. For an introduction to the game, this is pretty boring. Like, when it really boils down to it, we're following this guy for 15 minutes straight with no context at all. Damn, we really are in the middle of nowhere. The obscure lore of Where the Wild Things Are. There's no dialogue, no cutscenes, and they're forcing us to hit these fireflies for literally no reason. The combat is okay at best, and when this guy is constantly hitting the hives, forcing us into more combat sections, it just felt like it was going on forever. I'm 22 minutes in, right? I would not say this game is hooking me in the slightest. Like, I don't want to judge too early, do you know what I mean? But I can kind of sense this is just going to be the entire game. I can already kind of do. And it's not like there's even a challenge here either. Every single combat session is like you can just heal yourself here. It was almost at a point where I'd played for so long with no trophy, taking out the disc and never touching it again was 5 seconds away from reality. But then it happened. Oh, friend of the bull. Let's lock in. We gotta figure out where the wild things are. Gymnast. Huh? Holy shit. No way. Follow the bull. Okay, so we missed 2 skulls. That's great.
Be still!
Uh-oh. I really hope we got dialogue in this one. I think without dialogue, this is really going to be a lost cause. To go from a nice rendered cutscene like this one back to the game is almost like a jump scare. Okay, now we're back in the game.
Hungry. I want to eat it.
What else can he do?
Next, you'll be crowning him king.
No, he's too small to be king.
Listen, if he fails, then we can eat him.
This absolute legend right here is Carol, and although we've just met, already knows our name and is happy to make us king. This decision is a very fast one, and it's made even faster because they decided to skip over half the movie. And then, not even 5 seconds later, decide to skip over the rest. These houses being built before Max even arrives is essentially it. Like, that is the rest of the movie. And we're what, 30 minutes into the game? You might argue that they wanted to expand the universe, show a new story, and give a reason to actually play the game. That would be cool, if it was the case. Instead, we are left with a hub area called the Village, which is arguably the only thing that relates back to the movie, and then a bunch of random missions with story sprinkled in every so often. Why have I got the option to dance back here? Hey, what is this camera angle? It's like the camera just gets trapped. Okay, that looks sus. I spent a few minutes running about here, grabbing collectibles and just exploring, eventually finding 25 seeds for a trophy. Oh, friend of Judith. It wasn't long before I decided to get off for the night, already having a pretty clear picture as to how this game was going to play out. Thoughts on the game so far? It's not really following the movie the way I thought it would. Gameplay wise though, I've only played one mission, but from that mission and this little village hub thing alone, I'm going to say it's just going to be walking around aimlessly around levels trying to get collectibles and just doing nothing. And after waking up the next day, my fears were correct. While this time we're following Carol, the environment, the collectible hunting, and the repetitive combat was just as painful as when we were following the bull. It wasn't all bad though, as we managed to fill up the heart meter to gain an extra heart for the remainder of the game. Oh, Jack of Hearts. What have I done to you? Leave me alone. And then grab 25 houses for the trophy Friend of Carol.
Something strange is happening.
Speaking of Carol, the next section has us doing this weird Subway Surfers level while we're riding on his back. And I mean, what are we actually looking at? What is the point? What am I doing? Oh, I missed it. Is the entire game just collectibles? Is that it? No way you can slide cancel here. Oh my god. I think I got a stick drift actually. It's just so out of place. Like, I feel I've played enough slop to tell the difference between good bad games and actual bad games. And to me, this feels as though the idea was already set in stone, regardless of the movie it was being tied into. Either way, after grabbing the 20th star, we reach the end of the level, and are shown this portal which leads Carol to say,
"No, Max, stop. That leads to nowhere. If you go in there, you'll never come back. Come on."
And that's literally it. Half an hour grabbing collectibles and riding on Carol's back, just for it to end and have us spawn back at the village. Why is he just dancing? Can I get him to dance again? Hit the gritty, bro. Alexander and Douglas aren't convinced that we're worthy of becoming king and want to give us a challenge. The challenge in question, though, is a bunch of boring combat sections while they both help us through the forest. If they're trialing us to see if we're fit to be king, but then they're actively helping us do so, how are they going to come to the conclusion that we're fit to be king? I felt this a lot on the last mission too. I mean, technically, if we can get on Carol's back while he's sliding, jumping, and doing anything he wants, why are we then having to do all this random crap when he can just jump over with ease? What I'm getting at here is that the game is really just a big nothing burger, as it feels that 90% of the stuff we're doing has a simple answer the game won't let us do. Almost starting to feel like I'm forcing myself through the game, which is never a good sign. Alexander and Douglas have one final challenge, and they make us finish this on our own. This isn't the only thing finishing though, as it seems Venom has already been here before. Your guess is as good as mine when trying to explain what this stuff is or where it's even come from, since the game lets us know absolutely nothing. We're introduced to a new enemy type here, and after taking them out, Douglas breaks through the wall, genuinely surprised that we didn't just die to the final challenge.
You survived, huh? Alexander's gonna be so disappointed.
I don't feel so good.
Sorry to hear that.
Did I eat that?
I'd say that this is the final nail in the coffin when it comes to any story relating back to the movie. It kind of died off rip, but now the goo has entered the village and becomes the main focus of the story. Since it's the first time Carol's heard of the goo, he's determined to find the source. So we hop on our boat to sail the river. The same river, by the way, that Carol completely skips over and ends up on the other side, acting like nothing ever happened. This is going on for way too long. Way too long. My attention was left maybe like 5 minutes ago. Even if I wanted to get immersed in the game, I just can't get my head around why they would show you that you can jump on this guy's back, but then you spend the entire level just chasing after him and doing all this unnecessary stuff when you could just jump on his back now, theoretically, and, you know, basically skip the entire game. After crying my way through this section, we're introduced to the worst thing this game does. No! No! Basically, this venom goo traps the wild things and you're forced to attack all the little guys to free them, while simultaneously hitting the strands so that they don't get sucked into the void. It's multitask how, and it only gets worse due to how frequently they end up spamming this exact same thing with more enemies every time. I fucking hate this game. Oh.
There you are.
Bro's hit the Superman lander.
Where's that stuff? It's everywhere. We should warn the others.
Okay, dying in the village. Sick. Oh, dealing with this shit, bruh.
I will not allow Max to be my king.
But Carol thinks he's worthy.
I don't care what Carol thinks.
It's Max.
We were just talking about you. We think you should leave.
Yeah, you're becoming a big problem.
No, he's not. Leave him alone. You know what I always say? Judith, don't you dare. If you have a problem, just eat it. You taste awful. Let's just get rid of him. Douglas, don't.
Sorry, Max.
At what point do we sit here and collectively agree that this story makes zero sense? Why are we getting eaten alive, spat back out, and then kicked off the side of a cliff over potentially being king? The only person that doesn't want us dead is KW, but just as she comes to save us, guess what happens?
Max, you're safe.
Oh, see, again, it's just the same venom thing. What is that? Why can't I jump over them? I'm literally trapped in a corner.
I'm going down!
Well, I can't get to you. The cleaner. What a fucking shot. Along our escape from Douglas and Judith, we grab the trophy Demolitionist, taking out 5 fireflies with a single bomb. Popping loads of trophies now. Oh, King of Hearts as well.
Look out! Leave him alone!
Douglas and Judith end up being trapped in the venom goo, and it's funny that now that the one's about to die, it's our job to save them, but they can kick us off a cliff with no repercussions whatsoever. Like we have to save them by doing the same shit I've done this entire game. Peek! After freeing them, we are jumped by this guy. You'd think, given the fact I just saved them after the countless murder attempts, they'd want to jump in and repay the favor. But no, they all just stand there watching me fight this guy one-on-one. No way they just sit there and I gotta fight these guys on my own. There's a portal right behind you, like what are we doing?
Judith!
Where are we? I don't like this. I think this is
Like Stonehenge.
nowhere.
Why is she licking the rock? Where are we? I'm led to believe these guys have no clue how we got here, what nowhere is, and how to escape. So much so that I don't think the devs figured out a way to showcase their escape and decided to skip the entire thing instead. How are you gonna put us in a random location? It's not even in the movie. Max, get us out of here, and then that's just it. They don't even explain how we got out of this random place. And now we're king. Okay, sick.
What do we do now?
That's why we have a king, to tell us what to do.
Max, give us your first royal command.
Let the wild rumpus start!
It's taken us half the game to finally get some genuine story, and in a world where anything is possible, they chose to have the moon fall out of the sky.
The moon is falling?
We have to tell Carol.
The moon is falling. Carol isn't instantly on board with this whole thing, but then suddenly clocks the moon and locks in.
The moon is falling. It's gonna smash the island apart.
Calm down, Douglas. That's not possible.
You don't believe me? Ask the king.
The moon is falling? What, is that true? This isn't good. Douglas is right, Max. The moon will pull this island apart. Soon, we won't have a home. Wait, I have an idea. If you go, we can go too. Thanks for your help, King.
No worries, man. As any bad game enthusiast knows, there's only so much genuinely dreadful gameplay you can take before you start to tweak out and wonder why you ever started it in the first place. And little old Satiire was definitely reaching its breaking point around this section. Where are we even going? It's just like an endless path. Send help, please. Flipping this tree though, and I'm dead probably. Yeah. He's got a turning radius of a fucking like slug. Look at this shit, man. I'm pressed. That's me full moving.
Hold on tight. Yeah!
They didn't logically think this game through. He just jumped all the way to that tree, I think. Look at him fucking jump. Look at that. Huge ass jump. Like, what is the point of me playing this game? This piggyback ride is our way of reaching this random tree in the middle of nowhere to scout the area for an island. The same island that is supposed to help us avoid the impact of a massive space rock. It just annoys me too that they don't even fucking help. He's just standing there. Oh my days, do something, man. What do we do all that for?
That doesn't seem too far. Let's go tell the others.
Is that it, yeah? Oh, I'm actually losing. I'm losing it. Now that we had found this magic island to avoid the moon, we need another boat. The one we had before isn't big enough to get everyone across, so Judith mentioned she's got one lying about. A cool suggestion if it didn't take an entire mission to get there while also dealing with more traps. Holy fuck, did I just die? Oh my god. No! Wow, I mean, if she fell down there, she's got to be dead, right? Nah, she probably just spawns back in somewhere. Yeah. Oh, not again. This is like the worst part about the game. It just lasts for so long too. Like, what the fuck am I playing? There's no way they just lowered that boat in like a full stream of water like that and just prayed that it just landed right there. After all this effort trying to escape the moon, climbing the Firefly Hive, grabbing this boat, and doing another stupidly long collectible game mode, the island just blows up. So that is 100% of this level. That's the first 100% I've had.
So, where's your new island?
If I remember right, it should be just over there.
That island? You could almost reach up and touch it.
Build a tower to the moon? It's crazy!
Alexander doesn't like the idea of living on the moon, and to be honest, I don't blame the guy, as it sounds like a pretty stupid idea. If we really think about it for more than 5 seconds, the moon is gonna fall whether we're on it or in our village. All this extra work trying to get up there is basically a waste of time, and I guess Alexander sees that and decides to run off.
Look, I'm not going to the moon and you can't make me!
I would have just left him, to be honest, but we're forced into this stupid follow mission once again to try and convince him otherwise. Each time we get close to reaching him, he goes off and we're left to fight more enemies. It's such a sorry excuse for a mission and really did feel like a bunch of nothing. I mean, if we're being real, 70% of this game has been a whole bunch of nothing, with a few story cutscenes here and there. I found myself getting into it, and then I kind of found myself realizing that it's just pointless. Where is he going? How is he down there? Oh yeah, and when we do find Alexander, he's chilling in his underground space section like the void from Minecraft. No explanation as to how this even exists, and even less as to how a giant goat managed to parkour his way over all of these pipes to reach the house.
Hey, Max. Sorry for running. I just got scared.
Bro just ran to the edge of the universe.
This is my favorite spot on the island. I just wanted one last look.
With With Venom going crazy all over the island, we decide it's now or never to start our journey to the moon. This is a pretty niche reference, but it kind of reminds me of that final section in Fable 3 where everything is covered in the darkness. I hope some of you get this actually, because that game is so fucking peak. The final mission though, is not so peak. It's the worst part of this entire game, and it's probably the reason I hate this game as much as I do. Not this shit again. I'm actually about to tweak. Just like that, I'm fucking cooked, man. The Venom traps are endless here. I kid you not, every single stupid corner you turn, the game is chucking these guys into a trap. I fucking hate this game. I actually hate this game. This is awful, man. Don't, oh my god, no, I'm done. Just the same thing all the time, like just getting trapped every single fucking second, like any possibility they can. I'm actually crashing out. Oh my god. How long can you realistically just make this go on for? You're literally longing it out. Well, if I let both these guys die, that should be the trophy, actually. Worst king ever. Nice. Worst game ever. After this long and skippable fight to save Carol, we had done it. The traps had been bested and the moon was in sight.
You can make it, King!
Jump, Max! Jump!
They're giving him powers in this one. In the movie, he had no powers. They're playing on the hardest, so hopefully it's difficulty they all unlock. Yeah, nice, okay. There we go then, game is complete. With the game wrapped up, it was time to see how the cleanup would work. Was it going to save everything I had done during the levels, or would I be forced to repeat everything just to find the last few collectibles in each one? I mean, you can probably guess which one they ended up doing. While replaying the entire game, I decided to target the miscellaneous trophies like 15 kills without being hit, completing a sailing mission without crashing, oh, that's the trophy for all of them. There you go, real estate mogul. Mogul. And also beating this stupid Carol section without failing as well. Don't think I crashed, unless it counts like hitting the sides of the walls and stuff. Nice, let's go. 8 of the remaining trophies are tied to collecting everything in the game, and if I'm being honest, it was so fucking boring. I'm sure if I skip through the hours of footage I clipped, there might be the odd funny moment or two hidden between, well, this.
Even if the Switch had launched with just Breath of the Wild, it still would have been a massive success.
But to save my own sanity doing that, here is me, right at the end, in the village, finding the last few collectibles for these 3 trophies. This is pretty cool. This is from the movie, although in the movie, his house example, whatever this you would call this, is like over a desert and stuff. Potentially this is the last crystal thing. Yep. There we go. There you go, that's the star. So there's one more star, and there's one more collectible somewhere too. Oh, there's the seed. I just don't know where the last star is. But as it turns out, the final star was on top of this owl's nest, with the only way to reach it being to climb these trees. Only 3 trophies remain now, and they were all for doing pretty simple but random stuff with the wild things. Pause. 1 for starting a fight. Glassed houses. Yeah, that last star though was stupid. I didn't even know you could climb trees like that. Another for causing a few of them to sneeze. Oh, there we go. Did it. And finally, to get rid of this game for good, ending up as a midnight snack for 3 different wild things. The platinum clip is me getting absolutely destroyed. What a peak game. Yum, 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 yum. Is that it? Or do I need one more? There we go, there we go, there we go. All trophies awarded. Yes! Oh, lovely stuff. To rate this on the movie tie-in scale, I think it has to go here, purely for the fact that it barely even followed the movie at all, and really was just a random game with a Wild Thing skin slapped on top of it. Not a fun experience, not a great tie-in, and all round, just a pretty mid game. I have never seen the original How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. I know, boo. But I guess my parents never really cared, and by the time the 3rd one came out, it just wasn't on my radar. But recently, we received the live-action adaptation of the first movie, and trust me when I say that this is actually so peak. Like, I went in with 0 expectations given how live-action movies usually go, but this was so good. So good, in fact, that I quite literally became the target audience for this thing right here. Releasing 8 days before the original movie back in 2010, this ended up with a 51 on Metacritic, which I feel is way too high for the game you're about to see. Looking at the reviews here, Game Reactor said, yet another license yawn fest, where neither missions nor collecting of silly items is any fun at all. And Total PlayStation saying this is the video game equivalent of waterboarding. Unless you need tips for training your IRL dragon, stay away. Which is a statement I never thought I'd agree with until experiencing the game for myself. How can a game aimed at children want me to suffer so badly for a platinum? Well, you're about to find out. And it's by Activision as well. That's how you know it's P. The game starts out with a little recap as to why it exists in the first place. We are told by Stoic, this guy, that we are celebrating Thor's Day Thursday, a holiday they decided to name after defeating the Red Death. I can't tell if Thor's Day Thursday is an annual tradition or a weekly one, but basically a few Viking groups from all over the land come here to fight in tournaments to be crowned the winner. I guess nothing brings people together more than killing each other for a bit of fun. After Stoic finishes his little speech, we are asked to pick our character.
May the best Viking win!
Me or her.
I chose Hiccup because I wanted to play through the game with Night Fury, riding around and doing cool missions together. Once loading into the world though, it quickly became clear that this was not what the game was about. From the very bad UI to the floating PNGs entering our inventory, it's safe to say we were entering Dookie game territory. We're told we need to enter our house to take care of our dragons. The same house that isn't even a house but just a menu with Night Fury on a pedestal. It's here that we're able to feed, heal and send our dragons to sleep to get some rest. You can also customize your dragons from different wings, tails, and even the color of their scales. I chose to make this guy pink so that he was rocking the Satiire brand like a walking billboard and started our journey towards this platinum trophy. You can make him bold. What? It's telling me there's something in my inventory, yeah, but there's nothing in my inventory.
Before entering the tournament arena, you're going to need to train that dragon.
He said the movie name. The training camp is exactly how it sounds. It's a place where you level up your dragons by learning new combos and fire techniques. It's one of those features that almost every game has to teach you the in-game mechanics in the simplest way possible. And yeah, this is simple, but it's almost too simple. There's 7 melee and 6 fire tutorials. Each one has 4 tasks inside, and while the first task teaches you a new combo of fire technique, the remaining 3 just repeat the same thing we just did for basically no reason. There's no scenery change, barely any change to the enemies, and all round, it's just a big waste of time. Like, I get teaching us a new skill, but this is so dumb. I'm confused as to what the purpose is, but it's just the same fight. This can't be what the game's about. This is literally not what I expected at all. It isn't often that I watch back these clips and think to myself just how much suffering I could have saved had I realized in this moment that this was basically the entire game. I even had the man himself, Mr. John Callum, in my DMs telling me, and I quote, "Yeah, how to train your dragon is ass. You're cooked and you'll die of boredom." To which I eventually replied, Madagascar moment. Loki, this dragon is not good. The Snotlout tournament was the first of 5 we attempt to win over the course of the game. With each one, you can do a miscellaneous task to earn an extra trophy, with Unstoppable being earned here for not dying a single time. As you can see, not much has changed from the training camp. In fact, it's essentially the exact same thing, except now the enemies move and we're in a different arena. The combos we had just learned aren't even worth pulling off because of how much the game seems to favor the enemies.
Attack!
Did I win?
Snotlout is
First step. So what it seems like is there's 5 tournaments and that is the entire game.
attack!
Yeah, cooked. Okay, well, W game, I guess. I didn't expect this at all. Like, I don't even think I have to watch the movie really to know this doesn't follow the movie. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's literally a mobile game is what I would class this as, and it looks like a mobile game too. Oh, I'm cooked. I'm cooked. I'm cooked. Oh, he's cooked. He's cooked. Oh! Get out of here, man. 2 trophies.
Victory over Snotlout is yours!
It wasn't long before we are shown the other half of this game, collecting resources. Yeah, while there's no true collectibles here, they do still make you grab random stuff to stretch out the game as much as possible. It's also around this point that we are awarded our second dragon and given access to the wild zone. To the wild thing, to the wild zone. I was hoping when it was saying at the wild zone that we would get to fly the dragon around. I'm guessing arguably a core feature that you would assume would be in the game is potentially not even in the game. The fish leg tournament is up next, and this, as you can imagine, is nothing new. But the enemies do have 2 dragons instead of 1. Not like this really mattered though, as the entire tournament was extremely easy. I figured out that by pushing the enemy all the way to the left or right, you can trap them against an invisible wall and effectively stun lock them. And while I didn't know it yet, this was the start of the best best strat in the entire game, and basically the only way I managed to pop the late game trophies. Speaking of trophies, the miscellaneous one here is for winning the tournament without taking care of your dragons. I don't really know how you'd fail this in the first place because you can only take care of your dragons by quitting the tournament. So I don't really know. That is an insane combo. Oh, okay, it's triple square. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's crazy.
Choose your next opponent. Come on, let's move on to the next fight. Choose your next opponent. Choose your next opponent.
Shut up. Choose your next opponent. Yeah, he's just fucking blocking every single one of my shots. Oh,
is your success.
in great shape. I should get 2 trophies.
It looks as if the stable doors were left open, yet dragons escaped.
No, my dragons! It turns out the game does this to introduce us to the wild fights, and for something that sounds pretty cool, it's more or less the same shit we've already done with a new background. We did get a new dragon for winning the tournament, but it's not really enough to change the repetitiveness of what is going on. My thoughts on this game are pretty much the same as where the wild things are. We have a game tied to a movie that barely follows the movie itself and just does whatever it wants. The village in both games are pretty much the one and only thing that somewhat ties into the movie, and then the rest of the game is like, okay, what are we really doing here? I mean, at least where the wild things are tried to whip up their own story and as a bare minimum had something going on. This game is like 4 game modes that all do the exact same thing with a new background in each one. And if we want to go a step further, dropping this at $49.99 is a genuine scam. But what can we really expect from the goats of license slop themselves? As it turns out, there is one more area in the game we have yet to explore, the challenge cave. Given that our dragons are almost dead, we are required to go there in hopes of getting some healing items. Now, to be fair, this area isn't the worst thing this game has to offer and has us doing 5 different mini games with 3 different difficulties in each one. There's a trophy to be obtained here for getting gold on any challenge, which is a lot easier than you might think. The issue is though, well, the bar is already so low. We're playing a game that has had nothing new for the last 2 hours, so of course a collection of mini games is gonna sound fire. Yo, okay, this is what I wanted from a House Train Dragon game, but the fact it's kind of tied behind a mini game is kind of a bit mid. They actually had mad potential here if you really do think about it. Not like Hogwarts Legacy level, but they could have spanned something like that, do you know what I mean? Like, this is basically just like quick time events. Young competitor. 9,000 points. Level 6. There is a few other mini games here, but I imagine you get the point I'm trying to make. It's a lot better than the fighting areas we've been force-fed the entire game, but it's not really enough to save the overall grind that the game is going to become. After repeating the ice sculpting mini game for longer than I'd like to admit, we finally had enough healing items to go into the 3rd tournament. Just lob the pizza in the oven. Gonna see if I can get this tournament done before the pizza's done. I've got 12 minutes. Nice little banging one from Lidl as well. The miscellaneous trophy tied to this one is to win the entire thing, always fighting the lowest rated player. If you don't really get what this means, because I didn't either, the tournaments are on a point-based system. Each enemy you take out will reward you with 15 points and then take 15 points away from the enemy that loses. The system is fine, but in the context of this trophy, it makes earning it an extremely tedious grind because the boss starts out with 300 points. For the boss to be classed as the lowest rated player, we need 250 points so that we can be just underneath him, which means at an absolute minimum, we are forced to play 17 matches in this tournament just to get a shot at taking down Tough Nut himself. With each battle usually lasting 2 minutes per dragon and the enemies having 3 dragons now, we're talking like an hour straight of just this. Back and forth Mortal Kombat clone fighting with nobody around to save me. Yeah, it seems a lot of these trophies is like collect 200 of this, you know, do this, do that. It just feels like it's very padded out. Apparently the entire platinum is like 25 hours. Why flesh out a platinum when, like, I doubt trophy hunting is that big of a deal with children? It's such a weird decision. I don't know. I'm gonna stick on some videos and just bash it out. I'm just spamming triangle. I'm not even watching the game, and it's hurting my finger now. It feels like it's going on forever, and I still have probably like half hour, 40 minutes left of just doing this. Don't understand how these games ever get past. Like, how do you approach the higher ups at DreamWorks and be like, yeah, we got a new movie coming out. We're pretty excited for this one. You know what would be good if we tied in a lovely PS3 game with it. I just died. I'm still alive. I'm dead. Fuck. The trophy guide mentions the use of the deadly nadder, specifically for this triangle attack, so when it died, I was stressed I'd end up losing the game. But it turns out, Night Fury is the better dragon, and it took this death to finally figure it out. It feels like I'm constantly stunning them there. The blocking is the only problem. There you go. That's the game. But if they block, you can't then stun them. That's the only issue, I think. Yes. That was like a good hour and a half of time wasted. Peak game. But by the time we approached the next tournament, things were already starting to fall apart. The stun method with Night Fury became less and less effective, since the AI is able to block the final hit. The deadly Nada triangle method also stopped being as effective too, as the enemies start pushing up towards you between hits, eventually being too close and just going ham on your health. It was around this point that the game started pulling that favoritism towards the AI as well, due to how often their attacks would work instead of yours, even if you both attack at the same time. If you're going for a stun combo, you need to hit a few times before landing the final blow, which would be a stun. What the AI does though is attack you mid-combo and cancel this stun. Can you do the same back? Well, of course not. Okay, so we are getting smoked in that one. It just seems like what I said before, where the game just prioritizes their attacks. I guess if they're just a certain level above you, the game's coded to where you shouldn't be able to win. Like, I just won that fight, but it was down to my last dragon. The dragons aren't good past the 2 I have. Instead of blaming the game for being shit, I thought it might have been down to the level of my dragons and returned back to the training camp. This was arguably the worst idea I could have done, because it showed me the true reality of this trophy right here. To reach level 25 on each dragon, you're required to 100% this camp alongside the challenge camp and a few others. Not only would I be in for a shock, but this training camp experience as a whole was more than enough to get me dreading that All-Stars trophy. How have you sat in a design room, looked at this gameplay and been like, yeah, absolutely fucking fire? Because it's just shit. It would be bad enough if I had to do that once, but it's not. The same stupid challenges 4 times over with basically no variation other than the fact that the enemy just has a bit more health. And you know what's worse? I don't have to repeat all of this again. The exact same challenges too, by the way, on every single stupid dragon to get to level 25. Okay, well that's one dragon done. Level 16 is what I got to. I've done all the tutorials. Oh, weapons master. Essentially what this means, right, is I have to do what was potentially like an hour to an hour and a half 3 more times, and then go and do like these random minigame ice sculpture things, probably for another like hour and a half again, for all 4 of these fucking characters. Oh. I managed to get a few other trophies here as well, like ultimate customization for unlocking every cosmetic on a dragon. Oh, ultimate customization. What is that for? All of the customizations? Great speaker for talking to everyone on the island. Why are they all just called Viking? That's so funny. It is not special enough. Hello, Viking. I don't know if there's anyone else. Oh, there you go. Great speaker. I think that was a quick little trophy before I get off. Make the pain and suffering just a little bit less painful. I don't know what I'm saying. Oh, get me off this game. And when getting back on the next day, got Perfectionist for using 20 points on a single skill. Something I had no clue was even in the game until checking out the trophy list. Okay, new day. We are back once again on peak. So I think this should pop a trophy. Pretty much fully upgrade this guy. There we go, Perfectionist. Already making good progress today. I'm sure I'll start tweaking out eventually because it is just a waste of time. Believe that is the last combat tutorial thing for this little guy. So we are 100% with 2 of my characters. I'm not going to do these 2. I don't think I need to right now. I purposely chose these 2 because of the combat exploits you can do with them and hoped it would be enough to get me to the finish line. I forgot to mention, but the miscellaneous trophy on this one is for always fighting the highest rated opponent. This one is way easier than Valiant, but it still takes a good while due to the point system and the fact that each enemy had 4 dragons now instead of 3. The final boss of this tournament is Astrid. Astrid can tail whip to hit my Night Fury out of the sky a few moments before my stun lands. It's stupidly unfair and leaves me at a crazy disadvantage when trying to take her down. Oh, it's just doing the same fucking moveset. Like, it's blocking my stun and it'll hit me out of the sky. Attack! Attack! Okay, 2 trophies, I believe. Brave and Fearless.
Astrid is astounded.
Lovely. I couldn't help worry about the final championship, with my stunlock method slowly losing its power and me having no other way to brute force these fights. I was left with the unfortunate reality, actually playing the game. The final championship is a mix of every boss we have defeated thus far, and the final hurdle to beating this stupid ass story. We start with Fishlegs, who's rocking 4 of these guys, the only type of dragon that seems to love blocking more than anything else. None of your attacks deal a single sliver of damage when you're blocking. Surely the stun should still stun. Look at this, bro. I'm not even hating to hate or anything. It's just like you can't deal any damage. There's no way around it either. The only way you can really even get through these fights is to do the spam method.
You know. Watch out!
Oh, I can't. Maybe I crashed out too hard here, but you have to imagine what my life has been the last 2 days. Just repeating these combat sections over and over and over again while it progressively gets more unfair to the player. And it felt I'd hit a dead end. I couldn't stun lock, I couldn't bear the thought of grinding more pointless stuff to level up my dragon, and honestly, I was starting to hate booting the game up in general. Burnout had hit me hard, and I was essentially faced with 2 options. Let the game beat me like it was trying so hard to do, or finally find a way to overcome these stupid blocks and overpowered attacks. I started by blocking constantly to see whether there was some magical strat that the game knows that I don't, and to be fair, it does work. You barely take any damage and can usually avoid these big combo attacks without much issue. The problem is, where does this actually get me? I can't hit the enemies because they're still blocking, and defending constantly won't win me the match. So this is when I tried a new combo. Instead of spamming triangle, I spammed square, which still does a stun combo, but now does the entire thing without the big jump at the end. It's faster, way easier to pull off, and ends in a big spin which gives a larger window to stun an enemy with. This was the answer. The ultimate stun I had been searching for the entire game was essentially under my nose the entire time. I think that is the strat. I'm gonna die here, I think. Yeah, he goes down, wait a little bit, and then when he gets back up, he hits my stun. For this to eliminate any remaining challenge from the enemies and truly break the game for good, I had to get the timing down. And get the timing down is exactly what I did. After beating fish legs, I figured out the gap between stunning and going for another attack is around 3 seconds. This is almost perfect, and most of the time will keep the enemy trapped against the side of the map until they're dead. But there is a slight problem here. Since the game will do anything it possibly can to make the AI win, if you're the tiniest bit off with this timing, the dragon will block your stun instantly. Like if there's any proof that this game is rigged against you, it is right here. It was clear that I needed to refine this strat a little more, and maybe I was going insane playing this game for hours on end, but it wasn't long before I noticed something I guarantee nobody in the history of playing this game ever has. Okay, I figured out it's animation cue. Okay, watch. His head drops, stand still, there you go, now. And it just clips it, so when his head stops, there. Then you can go. Nice, okay. Look at me like perfecting strats and fucking How to Train Your Dragon. Oh no, it works for all of them. You can kind of tell when the animation of them falling stops. Like now. Yeah, okay, alright, this is the strat, bro. I can't explain to you the feeling I felt knowing I had bested this absolutely dreadful game. Seeing the amount of bullshit they chucked my way to taking out these final enemies with absolute ease lifted my mood completely. I have bested the game. I don't want to take credit because I feel like surely I'm not the first person to discover this new method, but if I am, you know, what do I say? It's just a timing issue, really. Other than that, though, I don't know if you'd really need to have even a strong dragon, really. Even though the final dragon was a unique one we hadn't seen yet, the animation pause still happened. The game does the animation for us here, but when he hits the floor, like, his tongue like goes back in, yeah, and I think that's the start of the new animation. Easy! I've cooked. Someone cooked here. The miscellaneous trophy for this championship is for beating every boss without getting KO'd. And for something I'm sure they purposely chucked in just to take the piss, it was nice to grab this one with little to no effort, like I was spitting it back in their face. This feels so fucking good. Woo! You've unlocked the grapple grounder dragon. Let's fucking go. What an insanely good game. Thank you to everyone that made this. The post-game grind is one that you would never in your life opt to do if not for the trophies. Reaching level 25 on all 4 dragons, completing all the challenges, all the training missions, all the wild fights, earning 10,000 coins, and even stupid stuff like grabbing 1,000 common items and 400 animals. This post-game grind is ridiculously long, and yet I still sat here for the next 2 days doing exactly what they wanted. The grind starts at a challenge camp, where we need to earn a gold medal on every difficulty in each challenge as each dragon. This takes a stupid amount of time, as you're sat here for a few hours minimum, replaying the same challenges over 60 times just to get your dragon some XP. While earning the gold medals on each challenge, there's 5 trophies tied to the expert difficulty that require you to do certain things like sculpt 10 ice blocks in a row and hit 5 checkpoints in a row.
Fly through that.
I think that was 5. That is potentially the trophy right there. I won't bore you here, but I want to go over the other 3 challenges so you have the full picture. Flying Shepherd is the longest challenge in the game and has you flying back and forth collecting sheep. Yeah, they added a semi-open section to fly about in just to make us grab sheep. The miscellaneous trophy is to grab 5 brown sheep in a row. These guys give you extra time, but you need to grab all the sheep to beat the level anyway, so I don't really get what the time boost is even for. Nice. Shepherd Dragon. The miscellaneous trophies on these ones aren't too bad, but I would say the gold medals are a little bit like tedious. They're making you press like random ass combinations like that, bro. The next minigame is Memory Torch, and like Flying Shepherd, forces you to be locked in as the expert mode switches buttons around and is surprisingly hard. I quite like this one actually, but I can't tell if that's because it was fun or because it wasn't a pointless button masher. The miscellaneous trophy here is for performing 6 sequences in a row, and this really does get challenging as you approach the last few. Square, circle, 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 X, X. Fuck. Square, circle, 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 X, X. Yes! I think that was it. Nice. I can end it now too because that was gold also. Viking gold. I'll have 10,000 gold in story mode. If this grind wasn't already long enough, the devs were fully expecting you to earn over 20,000 coins for these 4 trophies. Luckily, you can avoid this by saving before spending 10k at the shop and then reload the previous save. But I think the fact that they wanted you to waste just that little bit of extra time here is insane. Let's go and buy everything from this guy. Okay, I think that is everything. Bought out his entire shop. I think I can pop another trophy here too before I restart the save. I should be able to get all my dragons to like max happiness or whatever because I got all these like random ass items now. Shopping master. Go snoozing. There you go, Dragon Doctor. The other thing we need to do is spend money on the wild fights. If you think back to the start of the game, this guy robbed our dragons and we had to fight to get them back. The reason I never continued on from this original fight is because he was charging crazy amounts for a fight that plays out the same as the rest of the game. But now that we had the funds, it was time to buckle up for that exact thing. The reward for beating these fights are a few legendary dragons in arcade mode. This is a mode we'll see shortly, but it's not really worth wasting your time with this fight stuff, as I mean, what exactly can I say here that I haven't said already? My Night Fury was level 24 at this point, and I was praying that this would be the last batch of XP to reach level 25. Legendary fighter, I think that was it. Wait, no, actually, that's not it. I think that's just for doing all the wild fights. I did. Is that another trophy then? Final evolution. With this trophy confirming the absolute worst, all I could really do was lock in. The 3 dragons remaining still had all the melee and fire tutorials, plus all the challenge missions too. And this is the point in the grind where I completely shut off and went on a movie binge. For I kid you not, the next like day and a half, all I was doing was this. Spamming buttons for hours and hours on end with what felt like no finish line in sight. No one's played this game, but I feel like if it was just a bit more popular, there would be like an XP glitch or something. Okay, gold medal, level 25. It does seem then, in order to get all of these to level 25, I just have to gold medal everything. But even literally gold medal and everything just took me an hour. Hours of my life I'm not going to get back. Like the UK is so sunny at the moment. And I'm sat inside playing How to Train Your Dragon, doing the most obscure, pointless tasks that do not link with the movie whatsoever. Just watched Flushed Away though. Kind of a peak film, to be honest. Level 25. Currently 2 in the morning, but we only have 1 more dragon left. Fucking long time coming. I think this is gonna take me an hour and a half. This should potentially be the final game for level 25 on every dragon, I'm pretty sure. It is 20 to 4, so excuse me if I'm a tiny bit tired. Finally. Sat here all day and all night. I'm not playing a game, I'm not buying a game to be like, oh, to stick on a movie. Like if I genuinely bought this game and it wasn't just to play it because it's bad, I bought it because I love the movie, I wanted to be part of the universe, and then it's so boring that I'm putting on another form of entertainment to play the game isn't good. Like it just isn't good. To waste even more time, we are tasked with grabbing 200 chickens and 200 sheep. This is a good 40 minutes running about doing absolutely nothing but grabbing animals, but are we even really surprised at this point? There we go, 200 flipping chickens. Oh, finally. That one took a lot longer, man. All right, so because of how long this grind has taken, we are surprisingly close. There you go. We're 21 minutes away from popping the trophy, playing for 20 hours. So it kind of makes no sense. You faff around basically and not get this trophy now. About to watch maybe Moana or... Ooh, gosh. Well, actually. There we go. Viking Inhabitant. That means the entire story is wrapped up now. I believe we can move on to arcade now anyway. What is arcade, you ask? Well, this mode is dedicated to more or less the same stuff, but without the story included. I think the main purpose is for local co-op and is probably where most people that played this game have their core memories from. I'm sure hopping on for a few games with some mates would have hit back in the day, but here I am on my own after completing a 20-hour slog just to repeat it all again for the next 6 hours. We can start with a few easy ones like importing our dragons from the base game. Yeah, these are my story dragons here. Fire. And because at level 20, this should be kind of easy, I think. Winning 10 matches in a row on hard difficulty. And then another 10 for beating 20 battles with an imported dragon. The main trophy here is for winning 100 fights, which as you can imagine takes a good like 2 hours. While doing this, I made sure to win 20 fights with a dragon that I created. There it is, there it is. They are alive. There's also the trophy Perfect for winning 50 battles without being hit once. This is probably the only challenging trophy here, as the stun method, although fire, doesn't make me invincible. You still get hit while trapping them in the corner, and sometimes they do get a block in, which then results in them spamming an attack. It was alright while I was still aiming for the 100 wins, but once those 100 came and went, I was left playing these stupid ass fights, getting hit once and making the entire 2 minutes invalid before going again. Oh, it's just this last fucking hit every single time. It took a good hour of non-stop trying my hardest to avoid damage before the arcade mode was bested. Oh, that might be one of the worst trophies of the entire game, to be honest. Like, not being able to track how many perfects I had. Just a second ago, actually, if I put it up on the screen, getting hit right at the very last possible second. And then I just spent like the last like 2 minutes trying to take him down for no reason. Like constant random stupid stuff like that. Awful, man. The last trophy of this journey is for playing the entire story again, but as Astrid. Now at first, I thought this would be easy. The stun lock method was now engraved in the back of my head, and it felt impossible for me to lose. But losing would be something I did a lot during the second run, as Astrid doesn't start with Night Fury. In fact, it's impossible for us to even get Night Fury because they randomly decided to follow the movie for once and tie him to Hiccup. And this was a problem. This was a huge problem. The only way I made it through the game in the first place was because of the strat, and now we were stuck with the dragon with the triangle spam instead. And straight away, the flaws of this method showed their true colors.
He just blocks all my attacks and I can't block any of his.
This is like top 5 worst game I've ever played in my life. Draining, like mentally draining. The triangle method doesn't work when the enemies can block any attack you throw at them, and when they get right up close to you, the triangle strat just fails completely. For the first tournament in the game, it really wasn't looking good, and after just barely beating it with the second dragon, I'd finally hit my breaking point.
Remember what I taught you!
You know your game is awful, and the only way you can get through the section is by cheesing the game. I'm not doing too hot here. It's just so mentally draining. The game is so unfair, but it's at a point where I can't be bothered anymore. Like, I'm doing this entire playthrough for no reason other than just for a trophy. Like, the entire game really has been for no reason other than trophies. But this one is in my head. I'm losing to the most bullshit stuff. And so I progressed through the third and fourth tournament, taking upwards of 8 minutes per enemy, but still eventually making progress. When it came to the championship though, one boss stopped me dead in my tracks. And would you believe me that the boss was none other than Hiccup and his 4 Night Furies. Okay, so this guy's got 4 hiccups. There's other games on here that I think are potentially worse, but this, from like a mental standpoint, this by far wins, even over Madagascar, I think. I don't know how long I spent in Madagascar because there was no time like tracker, but on this one I've definitely spent 30 hours. 20 hours probably. It's just been me doing this.
You want more? Scratch
on. What am I fucking playing against? What is this? Playing against the fucking creator of the game or something, bro. Come on, you got it. One more stun. Don't block. Oh my. This is fucking
fucking stupid.
I've said this already, but I rarely ever crash out. So to watch this footage back and see myself genuinely losing it multiple times, it just shows not only how deep I was in this game, but also how mentally drained I was from this grind. 30 hours over the last 4.5 days doing nothing but pressing a few buttons and watching dragons fight is a pain only a handful of people will ever know.
Well, I think I'm gonna have to do level up this character as well, which is
Yet again, more time wasted. This save is 7 hours in already. Going to be a 10-hour save, I can already guarantee. I really do wish leveling up my dragon fixed this situation, but Night Fury is in his own league, blocking my attack instantly whenever it wants, avoiding my block breaks by unblocking and then blocking again, getting too close so that you can't even use the spam triangle attack with the deadly nada, and even trapping me in a corner and basically stunlocking me. Yeah, I was being stunlocked by an AI, and at this point, I was questioning my entire life.
Am I playing against real people? What is going on? How am I just getting trapped in a corner and spammed by AI? Easy AI, bro. What is this? Oh, man. I don't know what else I can do. I've leveled up these 2 characters. The max I can go, really, without spending another 20 hours on this stupid-ass game.
But then it happened.
And he's just like, literally pounding me.
Get out of my way!
Yes!
The pain and suffering of this grind had built up to this very moment. One final boss remained, and I was more determined than ever to just get off this game. I took out the first dragon with ease, then almost took out the second dragon before it took out one of mine. This left me with no stunlock method, but I still had one final chance up my sleeve, the triangle spam. The third dragon stayed put and was perfect for this move.
Okay, I don't want to get my hopes up. I really don't.
So it wasn't long before we were up against the final dragon of the game. This would be the deciding factor, what almost 35 hours of my life had been lost to. But could I even pull it off?
Oh my god. We might be here, we might be here. Okay, be careful, don't get too cocky. You got this, you got this, you got this. My palms are sweating. How am I sweating over a fucking kids game, man? How to Train Your Dragon got me sweaty, bro. Yes! I think that's the plan now. I think I've just done it. I think. Yeah, that was it. Yes! Yes! Oh my god. Yeah. Skip. What a waste of time. I don't think I have ever in my life, in fact, I could probably guarantee I've never wasted that much time on a game for basically no reason. 4 hours story. Okay, generous 6-hour story. And then probably 30 hours of pressing the same fucking buttons, man. To rank this horrible game on the movie tie-in scale, I mean, it has to go all the way to the left. It's a Mortal Kombat Pokemon-esque ripoff that just happened to have a How to Train Your Dragon skin slapped on top of it. This is by far the worst game I've ever played in my entire life, and I still think I'm recovering mentally from this experience. You might be sitting there wondering, what could possibly follow up to that? How can a game waste even more time, be even more pointless, and follow the movie even less than what we've just seen? Introducing Turbo. Most of you probably won't remember this movie, but it was DreamWorks' take on Cars. Released in 2013, it had Snoop Dogg, Samuel L. Jackson, Ryan Reynolds, Michelle Rodriguez, and multiple other big names, but still, it flopped. And it apparently flopped pretty hard, causing DreamWorks themselves to officially write this down as a $15.6 million loss. I'm sure somewhere in that big number is also the entire budget to this thing right here, because I guarantee no more than a few thousand people ever purchased this game. Scoring a 38, I'm under the impression that anyone reviewing this game played it for like 20 minutes and then gave up, because that is way too high for what you're about to see. Game Reactor said it's a horrible attempt at squeezing out some extra license money while ruining several childhoods in the process. And according to this person right here, they would rather suck an elephant fart from a straw then play this game for another 0.4 seconds, which, to be honest, I don't really blame them. I did not know this was a DreamWorks game. Bandai Namco, surely not. Turbo Super Stunt Squad. Now. Off rip, this is published by the same people that made Madagascar, which, you know, didn't have the fondest memories with. I'm not even getting any. Oh, fuck off. I have also seen that no one has earned as platinum in 3 months. Basically, no one even knows this game exists, from what I can tell. Past 6 months, there's been 10 people that have played this game on PSN profiles. 2 of the 10 people have played the game, and the rest have dropped it. Leads me to assume either there's a bugged trophy, or the game is so abysmally shit that it was just dropped. I watched the movie. I think it was alright. It was a Cars ripoff already in it, but with snails. What do we do? The UI in this game is horrible. This tutorial list looks like it was whipped up in a few hours, and to be fair, the tutorial isn't much better. No way we're locked in just like that, man. Fuck. I was debating maybe I should find somewhere else. Now I'm locked in. We're taken through a few gameplay features like jumping, grabbing, and performing tricks. We're also shown how to grind and manual too, which made me question what this game is even about. I'm gonna assume this is a Tony Hawk ripoff versus what you would honestly expect. It's a racing movie. It's like if you bought a Cars game and you're like sat there grinding rails instead. What am I doing here? There's no way this is the game for like 16 hours, man. If this is the game, I can see why people have dropped it. And I can't believe I'm now locked in. After performing a special trick, super tricky, and then a special ability. Oh shit, okay. Oh, and that's why I wasn't working. Oh my days, specialist. The tutorial was over, and I can't say I was any closer to even understanding what we were playing. Oh, I just fucking went out the map.
It all works the same. First, you gotta get on. Then you can ride it.
What was the point in that? Okay. And that's all the tutorial. When you watch the movie Turbo about the little snail racing a Formula 1 driver, the literal whole film is about going fast. Like, it's got no correlation to the movie at all, except for the fact it uses the characters and it uses the environments and stuff from the movie. That's literally the only thing, so far anyway, that matches this game to the movie. In fact, I'd even go as far as to call this a straight up scam, because it barely even hints at this being the gameplay on the box art, except a little quote on the back that says you can jump, drift, slide, and perform stunts. In my opinion, a very vague set of words that could easily be interpreted as something you can do inside races. So if there's no races, what can you actually do? Well, I'm glad you asked. The gameplay loop in Turbo is in fact nothing more than a giant collectathon. There's no story, there's no real goal, and to be honest, there's absolutely no reason as to why this game should even exist, as the only tasks we are required to do are ticking off a checklist. Whether that be finding every collectible in a level, picking up all tomatoes, finding all character icons, or letters to spell out Turbo, I shit you not, what you're witnessing on your screen right now is what I spent a good 25 hours of my life doing. And do you want to know the worst thing about it all? These objectives are on a 3-minute time limit, and if you miss a single collectible, you restart and need to grab them all again. Keeping that in mind, here is me failing the first jump of the game for a good 40 minutes, because Turbo wouldn't let me grind. Pause. There's a collectible up there and it wanted me to go up there. You just don't get enough speed to get up there. No, it's just the same height. Why can I not get this collectible? Like, literally the first one of the entire game is impossible. Just for me to finally land it after wasting so much time. Oh my god. Yo, we fucking did it. And then go on to run out of time, attempting another jump and crash out.
Yeah.
Fuck off, bro. Stupid ass fucking game. What have I done to myself? What have I signed up for? I'm spamming triangle, man. And I've already wasted like a minute again, so there's no fucking point. Now I've got to sit through this stupid loading screen. I'm actually cracking already. Funnily enough, a lot of the trophy hunters that dropped this game dropped it around the 11 to 13% mark, which is basically the same percentage I was at here. And I really do understand why, as it ended up taking me a whole hour and 16 minutes to complete the first set of collectibles in the game. It took so long, in fact, that I managed to complete 20 objectives as Turbo and unlock the next level in the game, all while trying to grab these hot sauce packets.
All right.
Yes! Nailed it. The remaining collectibles were more or less the same process. We need to find every tomato within the time limit. Nice. See, that one was actually doable. If the rest are like that, fine. You know, I can bear it. And then go ahead and play the level 4 times over for every character in the game, grabbing unique tokens tied to them, which made this process boring as
fuck? Fine, the collectibles are different, but the process is still the same. Drive around as a snail for 3 minutes, reaching random areas of the map to find floating objects. If you miss one or it's a little hard to grab, you have no choice but to restart and go again. I think all in all, this first level probably took me a good 2 or so hours, and this was all I was doing.
Better believe it.
The second area was exactly the same thing, but different environment and different mission collectible. It's at this point I really started to question why this game was even made, and the answer I think we can all come to is money. $39.99. Yeah, that is the price this game sold at. A game that surely by now you can see has no ties to the movie and barely has any content included. We'll say, it seems like although the placements are different, obviously, automatic, I think that's for unlocking the next location. It is just one thing replicated like 5 times. The next area, while visually different, had nothing new to offer. But something I did notice is that one of the main characters from the movie, Skidmark, was nowhere to be seen. I did a little searching online and found absolutely nothing. But he was definitely meant to be here as he's on the cover art. The forums for this game are almost non-existent, so it's not like I could revive one by popping a question in 12 years later. Essentially, I was left on my own, and that's not really a good thing when you're playing a game as bland as this. Neon glow. Wonder if potentially I've unlocked Skidmark now. There is apparently a cheat, like unlock a skin of him or something, but then there's no confirmation that skins don't disable trophies, and I don't want to do all this to like risk that, you know? Custom? What? Let's give bro a bright pink Satiire shell. So there I was, driving around as different snails, grabbing their icons, just wondering when Skidmark would unlock. The thing that was annoying about this is that I'd have to go back through the previous levels just to grab Skidmark's icons, which just felt like such a pointless task.
Pick the best, forget the names. What's up, baby?
Oh, we got it. Wait, no, we didn't. Hold on about. The auto shop is up next, and by this point, I was getting kind of good at the game. Like, the game's awful, don't get me wrong, and you'll soon see me crash out multiple times, but when you nail a good trick or keep a combo going, there is a slight dopamine boost to landing it perfectly. Jeez. After spending a good hour or so trying to grab everything in this level, Skidmark just unlocked, and I can't tell what triggered this to happen. Evidence Skidmark, that is the last person for this map.
Hey, player, I'm
Oh, let's go. We now had no choice but to go back through every level so far and grab Skidmark's icons. While this wasn't exactly challenging, it did start to mark the beginning of the end for my patience with this game. Having to do the same thing we've already done just because the devs decided to lock it behind some random task is so dumb. But what truly broke the camel's back, as they say, was level 5. Because oh my fucking days, level 5 is awful. It's terrible. It's just this random train set from the background of a scene with impossible jumps to grab collectibles. And I can't imagine anyone playtesting this before its release. In fact, they couldn't have done, because I'm sure if they did, it would have been removed from the game entirely. This map is fucking awful, like no correlation at all. Sick. I'm not gonna have fun on this one, I don't think, which is a bit sad. I think the thing that was starting to grate on me now more than ever was this 3-minute timer. Missing a jump, taking too long to grab anything, or just failing in general would require me to go again with everything on that run being reset. A few times, sure, you know, whatever, but multiple times a level, sometimes like back-to-back fails, and then having to see all your progress from the last few minutes being wiped, it was messing with my head. And I think this level is the perfect example to show what I mean. There's 2 sections here, the table which has this train set on, and then the floor down below that usually has a few collectibles lying about. If you jump or fall off before grabbing stuff from the top, that is a reset. If you manage to grab everything at the start but then miss this jump here, that is another reset because you can't get back up to gain the right speed. And each reset just felt like I was losing more and more of my own time. Ooh, Skidmark trophy. Oh my days, bro. This is actually so fucking shit. It's so shit. And I'm stuck. God. Honestly, the biggest waste of time I've ever done in my entire life. And this is coming from someone who just did How to Train Your Dragon. I would say that these two are on par. This one is arguably worse because I can't just turn it off. Like, I can't just put on a movie. I'm just bored of it now. This map in particular is just so far out from what the movie's even about. Why are we on a train set for that? I just don't get it. Grown man rages at a snail game.
Finally. Barely as well. Like 10 seconds left. Stupid challenge. Bro, these games actually had me tweaking over the most pointless crap. It just felt like I was being messed about. And although I paid like £8 at CEX for this, they still shipped it at full price. And I just can't see how that was even allowed. Something I did find out though was that they also made this game for the 3DS and DS. While it was still named Turbo Super Stunt Squad, it's an entirely different game, made by different developers, but still being published by D3. Do you want to know the crazy part though? The handheld version of this game is about racing. In fact, it's pretty much a Mario Kart clone. You know, when you think of Turbo, you think of racing, which I would say this is the closest. Yeah, proper Mario Kart style. You got like 3 laps and everything. Fits well on the DS, to be fair. Yeah, last place. Arguably, this is the better time, so it's just a bit weird. Like, they could have made this better graphics, you know, more advanced, and just chucked it on PS3, but instead they just made like a Tony Hawk sim instead. And after playing a few games of the 3DS version, it really got me thinking, like, how did they fuck up the console version this bad? Kart races can work on console too, and even back on the PS3, we had Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, Little Big Planet Karting, and even Mod Nation. Sure, kart races have never been insane sellers, but it's not like this game shifted anywhere above 5,000 units anyway. Finally. Oh, super custom. Unlock all custom shells. Unless the final mission doesn't have character collectibles, I would have assumed there was still more to do. The final level marks the end to this collectible slog and was one of the happiest moments of my life. We start by grabbing the last turbo letters floating around. There it is. This should be the trophy for all turbo things. Give me that. There we go, letter collector. Before starting the last tomato run in timed mode.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Let's go. That was nowhere near. Oh, got them all. The final trophy of this mission requires us to do one last sweep of the character icons. Other than a few hiccups along the way, these have been pretty easy. If anything, they've actually been pretty repetitive, so I assumed this mission was going to follow that as well. But no, for some reason, they decided to give Smooth Move the hardest icon set of the entire game. Whether this was a final stab at the player, or they placed them wherever and just hoped it worked out, this icon run was stupid, and it was mainly down to this jump right here. You need to follow a set path in order to grab everything up until this tackle within the time limit, but once getting up here with 4 out of 5 icons, you have under a minute left to hit an insanely high rail and grind up to the next floor. It instantly gave me flashbacks to the first ever jump I did in the game and really threw me off. I tried over and over again, failing by a few seconds or ending the run early because I knew I didn't have enough time left. But on one of my runs, I stayed until the very last second. Alright, we got a minute left, but it'll probably take a minute to even get back to the spot.
Nice.
No problem. Oh, can we get some...
Please, 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 please. Ah! Oh my god. Let's fucking go. Let's actually go. Oh, W buzzer beater once again. Potentially the worst collectible set of the entire game. I'm not even gonna lie. Might even be worse than the first one. You're bringing it down to the wire on a jump that is so stupid. Massive credit to PS5 trophies, or I guess back then PS3 trophies, because without this guide, this platinum would have taken me like 40 hours. Please just give me the trophy. Yes. That best be it. I don't think I've missed it. Yes. Yes. It's done. Well, it's not done, really. It's not, but it is in a way. Before moving on to free play, there's one other trophy up for grabs, and that trophy is to 100% a single level. You're probably sitting there thinking this is going to be the easiest trophy so far. You know, knock out a few objectives and call it a day. But it seemed every single time I looked deeper into it, it became more and more of a massive time sink. I come to you guys with potentially the worst news of all time. What I didn't realize, it says you have to do every objective in the level. Fine, that's not too bad. But apparently you've got to do every objective in the level with every single character. Like, are we taking the piss? There's 5 fucking characters, so I have to 100% the first level 5 times. For what reason? Genuinely, I'm tweaking. I just don't understand, like, who is doing this shit other than me. Put myself through this shit. Like, I guarantee even the developers that made the game did not bother doing all this stuff. I'm tied to Turbo for like another 10 hours. Don't know if I confirm this, to be honest. Not tonight anyway. Not tonight, man.
I didn't go to sleep though, and instead decided to start this dreadful experience. There's a whole bunch of objectives here, but the main ones to focus on are the hotspots, character upgrade tokens, and the turbo score. These are what we are required to do for all 5 characters, but the first time we play the level, there's a few extra ones we only have to do once, like finding a trophy and grabbing all of the flags. The hotspots are placed all over the map and are basically gaps or grinds that you need to hit without bailing. It's not hard, but again, to repeat this 5 times is just so unnecessary. The character upgrade points are basically the same as finding all the icons from before, which I mean, at this point, why are we even surprised? But the turbo score was actually kind of fun. With a 500,000 point and 150k combo objective, it was extremely refreshing to be doing something new after probably 12 hours of doing the same stuff. What I found worked best here was to find a half pipe kind of setup and then gain enough speed to go crazy with the tricks. You get a score multiplier in the bottom right that goes up to 10 times, and as long as you keep your score without messing up, the 500k will add up soon enough.
Yes!
Yes. Oh, score. That is one of the 4 we have to do for this particular level. I don't want to go to tutorial. I am so done for tonight. Oh, get me off this game. I took a little break from the 100% to enter free play. This is a mode with no time limit, and because of that, they added even more tomatoes for us to collect, forcing us to grab up to 25 of them around the map. To make it even worse, we are required to find them on every map once again, which at this point is just a piss take. Should be the last one. There you go, slices. There's the first of 6. I'm getting a headache now as well, so I think I might actually get off flipping 5 AM. Waking up the next day, I started to feel genuine hatred towards this game. Today had to be the day, and I decided I would stay up till whatever time needed to get this done. I jumped back into the 100% grind, quickly wrapping up the 20 objectives as burn, and then found the trophy at the top of the map before finishing up with the 3 different flag lines. It was long and extremely tedious, but the first character of 5 was done. Is that me done? Yeah, no objectives. And this is what I've got to do now. All the gaps again. Oh, I don't have to do the flags again. That's nice. So it's just score, pick up more character-specific collectibles, and then do the hotspots again. That's it. I think you guys get the picture by now, and to showcase every single snail for the next few hours, doing turbo scores and grabbing upgrades just feels pointless. So let's skip the hours of pain and pop the 100% trophy. Potentially the last jump of the 100%. It's just so unnecessary. The entire game is so unnecessary now. Like, look at this little smug face, bro. Look at this guy. Arguably one of the biggest nothing burger games I've ever played in my life. Okay, well, I've messed this jump up, so we're gonna have to see if we can just get a buzzer beater real quick. Nice. Buzzer beater. Okay, I died. Well, that's the trophy right there. Or not. No. Oh, there's no more objectives to get. That is all of them. Oh, there's some in free play. 200 flags. I cannot emphasize enough how just empty. There's just nothing. Like, there is literally no reason to play this game at all. What? It just pops the same flags over and over again. This is what I mean. What is the point? So I'm just going around collecting 200 flags of the same flags. This is 200 flags right here. Great. Well, there's the 200 flags. 400 flags. Seriously. 1,000 flags. Oh my god. Oh, I can't. It's not like I'm even cheating it or farming flags either. This exact loop is what the devs intended the player to do for like 1 hour straight. This is just pointless. Who is collecting 1,000 flags? These are the only 2 locations, is right over there and here. They're literally asking you to do this exact method. It's got to be like an hour and a half. I think I've been doing this now. 999. This is the last flag. Awesome. Is that the trophy? No. It turns out while this grind is needed to 100% the first level, it counts towards the free play 100% and not the timed mode 100%, meaning there was still 6 objectives left to find and I didn't have a single clue as to what they were. I did a bit of searching through the few forum posts I could find, and it wasn't long before I found the answer. I I actually cannot believe the game I'm playing. There's like multiple levels here, like level 1 tune-up locations. I think I need to find all of these, and then there's a level 2 tune-up locations, and then apparently Turbo and Skidmark have level 3. To explain in a bit more detail, each snail has 3 levels, and to level up, you need to grab all these upgrade points scattered throughout different locations. Within the locations, these upgrade points count as their own objectives, so I think you can see where this is going. All in all, this added an extra 40 collectible objectives to the grind, and words cannot explain the level of defeat I felt here. To be so close to this trophy, already having to 100% the level 5 times over and spend an hour collecting flags just to hit the realization I basically had an extra 5 or so hours left of the trophy, had me speechless. It was probably the most run down I've ever felt playing a bad game before, but I wanted to get this done today. I've literally spent the last like 2 hours leveling up this stupid snail just to get these stars to spawn in. If you had to give an award to the biggest waste of time of all time for any game, it would have to be this. Never playing another game by Monkey Bar Games in my life. You will never, ever, ever catch me playing another game developed by them. But eventually, the end was in sight. It's getting late, like it really is getting late. It's 2 in the morning, but I really just want to wake up and not have to play this game for like the 5th day in the row or whatever it is. I'm firm in this. It wouldn't have taken as long, I don't think, if there was guides up, but bro, no one has played this fucking game. It's rough, man. It's very, very rough. Oh, that's a trophy. Nice. The whole enchilada. Finally. Flipping, finally. With the worst trophy of the game out of the way, all that was left to do was grab all the tomatoes in free play and beat the turbo score on every level. Something that sounds simple, but still took a good 2 or so hours to wrap up. Okay, so this is all tomato trophy, I guess.
Excellent.
A whole tomato. This could be a milli score, actually.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah.
No, we were so close to 1 million, man. Oh my God, the platinum is so close. Yeah, we're about to hit 1 million. That is actually crazy. This could be low-key a world record out here. I don't know how many people have played the game. I don't know.
Not that.
I mean, I haven't got any sources to tell me that I'm not the world record holder. This is about to be the platinum. I cannot believe I'm in this position right now. Bittersweet moment, low-key, because like, my entire life basically has just been revolving around this game for the past essentially half a week. Lived and breathed turbo. Woo! Oh my God, that's it. That's the platinum. If I literally bail now, that's the platinum. Oh my God, new PB.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, baby.
No, I just missed it. That's the platinum now. Yes. It actually feels so good to be done with that game. I feel like I can't really express how bad it truly is because, you know, it just looks like I'm just fucking doing tricks and playing as a snail. Do you know what I mean? Like, how bad could the game truly be? Like, unless you play it for yourself, I feel like it's never going to grasp how boring and how empty the game is. Like, on the scale of good to bad movie time, this is all the way down the bottom of the list. This is below How to Train Your Dragon, like way below. At least How to Train Your Dragon like had dialogue and I had a little bit of story, whether it was tied to the movie or not. This nowhere close to what you would expect from a turbo game, and the fact that DS game does it better, you've dug yourself a hole. Back in April, the channel passed 100,000 subscribers, a milestone I never thought in my life I would achieve. To go from a kid with a dream to suddenly living that same dream is still insane, and it's all thanks to you guys watching some random person play bad games on the internet. But this entire journey almost never happened. 3 years ago now, I dropped the first ever platinum video on the channel. I spent a few weeks working out this style of content, but when it dropped, it broke 100 views and then stopped. It didn't get pushed, it didn't get interacted with, and this sucked. But then 3 whole months later, it blew up. It went from 100 views to 300k in the span of a few days. And that changed my mindset. To see that it wasn't actually my content that held me back, but more so the algorithm or the timing of the upload, gave me hope that this was actually possible. And it's crazy to say that almost 3 years on from this upload, there's a plaque in my room that has my channel name on the front. My point is, don't give up trying what you want to achieve because you never know what the future might bring. Thank you guys for 100,000 subscribers. Truly, you guys have changed my life and given me an actual purpose. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I am sorry for the long wait. Here's to hoping the next one can be wrapped up a little bit quicker.
Again, thank you so much to War Thunder for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to download War Thunder for free on PC, console, and mobile. Whether you're a new player or you haven't played in over 6 months on PC and console, be sure to click my links in the description to receive a massive bonus pack across all platforms, including 100,000 Silver Lions, multiple premium vehicles, and a whole lot more. Bye bye!